Okay. So go ahead. It's hot. What's going on, man?
Are we around? We lit?
Yeah, we're around, man. We here. I know it's a sudden, pop up that we're gonna, give a little introduction to the people. But
Mm-hmm.
like you said, it's from 15 to big things. A lot of people look at that title and be like, "Hey, what they mean by that?" But it's a lot of history behind it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though if you can elaborate on some of the things, I know we post a flyer up concerning that platform coming, on the Thursday nights. For most of y'all don't know, my name Keenan Hudson. A lot of you got a lot of viewers. You probably know who I am. Come from Philly, et cetera, et cetera. Doing a lot of things for the youth. There's a lot of things that's coming forth. And one of the reasons why we're here right now, and I'm gonna let the brother introduce himself also, is because we really just getting a feel of how things are going to transpire, especially when we have bigger conversations. But we're going to let y'all know on like an insight and an interview of some of the topics and the things we're going to be discussing about, from a lot of similarities and backgrounds, So here we are, ready to go ahead and elaborate. So Mr. Andre Jacobs, you go ahead, elaborate a little bit, for the people.
Yeah. We got that series coming up. Um, big things, think big and all that. So I just figured that we would touch base and kind of give people a little touch, a little feeling on how we coming, who we are, and
Yeah.
how this is all going to play out. Once the other guests come through and they also on the screen, they're going to be available for questions and to have their own insights and views on how they coming too. It's going to be Thursday. It's going to be every Thursday from 7 to 9. You can tap in whenever you can tap in between that time. And we're going to discuss real things because first and foremost, I feel like, we do not need the media to speak for us in 2021.
No
You know what
doubt.
I'm saying? That's why these platforms exist to give us a
Uh-huh.
voice. And it takes us to take control, step up, and press the button.
Uh-huh. No doubt, no doubt. And like you said, so when we really look at, some of the dynamics, a lot of people don't understand, that when we growing up, when we have no sense of direction, you know what I'm saying? When we have a lot of distractions, out in the world, of course, family, wants to do good, and a lot of these things, but, sometimes you get sucked in from a lot of peer pressures. You know what I'm saying? You get sucked in, from a lot of neglect, that happens in the house. So you get sucked into things out in the street. So for the most part, like, like I said, from the things we've been through and the similarities, it's like, wow, like for us to go through such, pain and heartache, and still make it and still survive, that it speaks volume. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and I believe that a lot of people say, oh, well, we can't save everybody. Well, it was something broke down to me in the past that said, okay, if you have 30 kids in the classroom and you say, oh, well, only if one person learns, that's a good job. Absolutely not. What about the other 29, that has, learning disabilities? What, you just going to
Mm-hmm.
teach just one? Nah. You got to try to save them all, help them all. You know what I mean? A lot of people say, oh, you should go at this platform through a religious background. No, absolutely not. Because we're trying to reach the mass majority. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't have belief. Some people are atheists. Some people, may believe in different things. So my thing is, not. We all entitled to our own beliefs. Whatever we believe in. That's not, for somebody else to judge or for somebody else to say, oh, who you can and cannot talk to. Absolutely not. I'm a disbeliever in that. My thing is, I'm about unity. I'm about bringing the people together. You know what I'm saying? Despite race, culture, et cetera, et cetera. I don't got time for none of that. People are people. You know what I'm saying? We're human beings. We have bloods running through our veins. Yes, I believe our creator. Our creator created plant life, human life, and animal life. Last time I checked, human is a human. You know what I'm saying? We're the same. So my thing is, when we're kids, you got to remember when kids are growing up, kids don't see color. You know what I'm saying? Kids.
Society teaches them that. Society teaches kids that.
The culture, the background. The background does all. Whoever's your upbringing, that's who teaches that. They teach separation, man. You know, they don't.
Because they need us to be divided. They need us to be divided.
And that's sad. Hey, and it's sad because my thing is, why the division? See, that's the thing. Division. That's when the confusion comes. That's when I can't be around this person, that person, and oh well, this person does this, or we got these stereotypes going on. You know, and sometimes don't get it twisted. A lot of times, some of the stereotypes are true. You know, but at the same time, everybody's not the same. You know, it's a percentage. You know, that's true, but at the same time, everybody's not the same. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is that it's the division that allows that causes the break in the communication. When there's a break in the communication, that's when people's imagination start running wild and they start filling in blanks. And next thing you know, that's where the stereotypes form. That's when people just start thinking, oh yeah, that's how they are, and that's how they are, and so forth and so on. But that comes from division. You know what I'm saying? This is why we need to have these conversations. We need to have these public discussions. This is why we got, you know, black, white, Latino, Latina. You think I'm saying? We're gonna have the whole platform up there because we want the voices from all the different perspectives to be heard and to draw in, you know, the various different audiences so we can really have these discussions.
Universal. It has to be universal. It has to be, you know, whether it be kids, adults, et cetera, different backgrounds, different cultures. It has to be universal. Because in the city, whether we're in Philadelphia, whether we're in Harrisburg or Pittsburgh, anywhere, crime is crime. You know, there's, you know, plenty of times where we're on a juvie block or the adult block, et cetera, you got different cultures intermingling. It's not just one culture. Of course, you might have a predominantly black culture, you know, in prisons and stuff like that, but you still have other cultures there. You have other ethnic groups there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So everybody is victims of crime and victim, you know, out here, you know, especially on the streets. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, yes, sir, brother Kevin Dolphin. Yes, sir, out of Harrisburg, breaking the chains. I see you there. Yes, sir. And actually, I'm gonna be contacting you too, man. It's, you know, because I know you have a lot that you got a good story, you got a good message, and you have a powerful movement, Mr. Kevin. So, you know, we're gonna be talking too, man. These are some of the things that we really have to talk about. We really gotta, you know, start emphasizing on, man. Because like you said, these talks are not going on. We got a lot of people that probably been through things and probably even got a little something going on, but don't really want to connect, don't want to, you know, pour in, you know, connect with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Some people think because they have crutches to lean on. And the one thing I say about the crutches, a lot of people still have their mothers. They still have their fathers. They still have their aunts and uncles to lean on. You know what I'm saying? Versus people, you know, may spend a lot of time, you know, away, you know, people that passed on, et cetera, and you got to start from the bottom. See, a lot of people don't understand. You got to crawl before you can walk. I told people plenty of times, I said, yo, I had to crawl. Like, I was working at a daycare when I first touched. Like, I was working at a daycare, man. Like, I was security and I was the best janitor. Like, I was making sure things was in order. But it was the thing that was provided for me, and I was grateful to that. But see, a lot of people don't understand. You got to be faithful over the little things first. Especially a lot of these cats on the street corners, they think they just want to make it to the top. Oh, no, I don't want to work for minimum wage. They keep saying, oh, yeah, ain't no job. There's a lot of jobs. Man, it's jobs everywhere out this joint, man. That's the biggest lie I ever heard. I'm talking about for anybody. I don't care what you've done, what your background is. Man, there's jobs for everybody, man.
And I see we got Kimberly Azim, and we got Kimberly Azim. Okay. Like she's heavily, you know, aware on a social justice level. She's real into podcasts and, you know, all of the different type of stuff. So this type of thing interests her. You know what I'm saying? And she understands.
Okay, she understands the language. Okay, that's cool because it's crazy because, like you said, the language, her understanding the language is like, wow, so she can relate. There's some people that may look at the platform and be like, "Hey, what are they talking about? Oh, I don't want to be around that." Man, you judge it. You're not, you know what I'm saying? So it's good when you have people that understand that language, and even people that want to learn to understand the language, because it's cool, because there's a lot of voices that can't be heard. There's a lot of innocent bodies, that can't be heard. People that's in prison, people that's at the bottom of the jails. There's people still, that was in charge with the Camp Hill riot, still under the jail. You can't hear their voice. Why? Because they're locked down in confinement.
I remember when I was in jail, man. Like, I feel like that was like my biggest desire, just to be heard, just to have a voice, just to let people know, like, listen, man, I came to prison, and this is what's going on in here.
That's deep.
You know what I'm saying? Because they don't tell us what's really going on in prison. They just tell us, man, you get your time and you go to jail and you do your time, you lift some weights and you meet some people and you come home. They don't tell us about all the little dirty stuff in between.
They didn't
tell us about the strip searches. They didn't tell us about solitary confinement. They ain't tell us about, the racism and the bogus misconducts, and you think I'm saying? They ain't tell us about none of that. And that's what these kids need to know. That's what these kids need to know, man.
You're right. And they need to know that. They don't know, when you go in there, it's literally 3 hots in the cot. You know what I'm saying? And if you having 3 hots now, because they started cutting back on so much. And the crazy thing is, in there, like I mentioned before, in there, everything is predicted. You know what I'm saying? Majority of things, when you getting up, when it's time to go to bed, you know what I'm saying? When you going to the gym, when you going to school, when you going to work, et cetera, et cetera. See, so what the thing is, in a way, it makes you lazy because you really don't have a lot of responsibility. You see what I'm saying? Versus coming to society says, okay, you have to be responsible. You know what I mean? You got to pay bills. You got to get up for work. If you drive down the street, you liable to get a flat tire. You know what I mean? and it's sad because some of these things are not taught. And the thing is, sometimes inside the system, they try to say it's a form of rehabilitation. But we know that the only way a person is going to change is going to be totally up to that person. They might provide little programs, et cetera, and believe like certain curriculums will help you. But at the same time, you got to remember, if a person doesn't want to change, a person is not going to change. You dig me out? Like,
personal choice. It's a personal choice.
That's a personal choice.
It's a personal choice. And I feel like what really is important about my story and yours, we both went to prison when we was 15. You did 15 years, I did 23. Total. That's 38. That's 38 years of experience right there with just prison alone. You dig what I'm saying? And you from Philly, I'm from Harrisburg. You had a murder case. I had drugs. Drugs, guns. So forth and so on. We come from totally different areas, totally different backgrounds, and we had similar struggles. But we gained a lot of the same insight and end up coming to the same conclusion about we the ones that had to change. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. and see, this is the crazy thing. This is another thing, but a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people think, okay, there's nothing but criminals inside jail, which is totally understandable. Okay, they think a lot of bad people are there, but you also have a lot of professionals there too. You know what I'm saying? You also have a lot of lawyers, a lot of DAs, a lot of ex-judges. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of professional ball players and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, you got a lot of people that gain a lot of intelligence from being confined. You see what I'm saying? Legal process. How many people especially a lot of, and this is the crazy thing, the most sharpest cats that I knew that dealt with that law was the lifers and some of the cats that was on death row.
Mm-hmm.
That was some of the toughest cats. But even cats that was trying to fight to get out, you still had other cats, you know, that wasn't on it. But a lot of the toughest ones, you would think they was lawyers from the way they know that law.
Mm-hmm,
you know what I'm saying? And you be like,
I knew this brother up in Huntington that they used to pay, the courts used to pay for him for his insight on particular cases. Ask him to break down certain cases. What's your view on this? You know, how you feel about this? Like, you know.
Wow. That's deep. That's real profound, man. That you be surprised, like a lot of people understand, you be surprised at a lot of intelligence that's in there. But at the same time, one of the reasons why we're on this platform is to really expound, especially like part of the recidivism rate. People going back in these jobs, like it's like, come on, you got a lot of grown men that go in and out. And I done seen life was getting rumbles. Life has gotten rumbles from cats that ran in and out because they'd be like, yo, dang, man, you like using nut. What you doing coming back? Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I do what I want. That's why you ain't never leaving. You don't never say something like that to no lifer, man. That's why you ain't never leaving. You don't never say something like that to no lifer. You don't do that. And you get in rumbles because of that, because people are because some people are not using their intellect. They're not using their brain. They're wasting their mind. The terrible thing to waste is your brain. Like, you got to know, you know, but the thing is, sometimes these things are not taught. They're not spoken about. There's no mediation. Like, it's nothing, you know, nothing to latch on. You know what I'm saying? Because all they know is once they get out there, who I'm going to hang around. Or I'm going to hang around the cats that I last knew, and they not even doing nothing. You know what I mean? Cats try I'm like, damn, ain't nobody going nothing out here. Like, ain't nobody, everybody just sitting around and, you know, but in the meantime, when I was seeing these things, I was still getting me because I was crawling from the bottom. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my mother had passed from cancer, and I lost my grandmother. I mean, I still have aunts, but at the same time, they really wasn't moving. Like, ain't nothing going on. Like, everybody's stagnant. Everybody's still doing the same stuff they was doing 30 years ago.
Let me put you on something though, right? You know, the self-hatred that goes on in our community is so heavy. It's so heavy that when we point out the fact that a lot of people that was doing the same thing we was doing before we fell is still doing the same thing now, they look at us like we doing something wrong or we saying something wrong. We just really pointing out what we are observing. You know what I'm saying? This is just like they a lot of people be taking it like it's an attack. You know what I'm saying? No, it ain't an attack. It's just like when you do a lot of time like that behind them bars and you constantly trying to imagine and envision like what you about to walk into and what you about to see when you come out. And you come out, you be like, damn, man, I'm missing this. Like everything happening, they party and they doing this, they doing that, it's lit out there. Then you come out and you be like, damn, like he's still on the same corner. Like that same corner that we was on, he's still there. They still there. You think I'm saying? They still over there. You know what I'm saying? The only thing we really missed was the things that we lost, man. You know what I'm saying? Our mothers, our brothers, and so forth and so on.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we ain't gonna undermine growth though, man. Like growth, you know what I'm saying, is very, very difficult in prison, man. Around a group of people, you know what I mean, that you be around. That's
true. Around a group of people, you're right. And that's what it is. It all comes down to the network. You know what I'm saying? It's about, you know, not necessarily your network. Because your network is your net worth. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people, you know, they just think, okay, if you hang around fools, you're gonna be a fool eventually. You hang around cats that's doing something, cats getting money, whatever it may be, you're gonna be the same. What you about to say?
You know, we got Faith around.
Okay, we got some questions there. Okay. Yeah, this you go. Okay. Hey, okay, Miss Faith. Okay, she said that's because most of the products are the environment, and that's absolutely true. We can become a product of our environment. Absolutely. That's like, yo, that's Absolutely. And sometimes, and it's crazy, we so brainwashed that a lot of us can't even see it. And Grace, yup, growth takes determination. Yes, sir, Mr. Kevin Dolphin. Determination. And that determination, and that coincides with motivation. And you got to be motivated. You got to get around cats that's motivated, people that's doing things. If you're not going to get nowhere. You just want to stay stagnant, laying in the bed, not want to do nothing. You want a girl to take care of you. Now, speak from a man's perspective. You know what I'm saying? But you want it's like it's so many things like this to happen. Now you be like, yo, like, nah, I don't want to be around it. You think what I'm saying? Like, I don't like if you're not trying to move or progress in life, I don't want to be around you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of that, that intertwines, man. It's a lot of things, accountability. It's a lot of things that intertwines with this, man. And like I said, I've never said it was going to be easy, but you can take things a step at a time. Things are going to come overnight. I had to walk. I had to take the bus. I had to walk in the rain to work and stuff like that before I had my first car. You know what I'm saying? But once I learned that discipline, the discipline came in time. You know what I'm saying? Once that came in time, then bang. Next thing you know, I had my first car was a 99 Chevy Lumen. You know what I'm saying? So okay.
Got a question?
Yeah, what's the question? They said, what was the changing point in both of your lives? Wow. You want to go first? Or you want me to go?
That's an important question. I'll go.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
That's a very hard question because I always tell people that it be a combination of things, man. It be a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? Because like something could happen at one point and you're not mentally ready, or your stability is not right, you know what I mean? You're not mentally well, your situation is not correct, and it don't hit like it's supposed to. But that same thing can happen 5 years later, and your mental health is correct, you know what I mean? Your heart's in the right place and you got the right situation, and you make that change, you know what I'm saying? But like for me, I'm gonna say that if I had to choose one thing, I'd say education, man. Because the more that I learned, the more that I saw things, you know what I'm saying? Not just outside of me, but inside of me. So if I had to say anything at all, I would say education. But I will also say like the people that I had in my life, man. I had some good people in my life. And like you said, like your network, you know what I'm saying? I built a good network, but even through that, you know what I'm saying? That was because of education. Because I started understanding the system. I started understanding how to move and make things work and make things happen. So, you know what I mean? I would say education and networking.
That's powerful. And for the changing point, like in my life, wow, that's tough. Like you said, that is a good question. And I do believe, because it was always said that education, they said, that knowledge is power. You know what I'm saying? When they used to say that, I really didn't understand it, but I used to wonder why they used to always say, like, read books, read this, read that, or, when I had, like, certain principles, like Hildebrand Pelzer and different people, Mr. Michael McGaw, business teacher. Like, these people would always say, hey, focus on education, like, get knowledge, get this, get that. And that was a big turn point for me, too, because, like I said, I didn't know the consequences, behind the actions that I took. You know what I'm saying? Behind the robbery that took place when an innocent man got killed. You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand that. So I had to, like, really recollect, like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Then having the understanding, like, yo, you about to spend some time in prayer. You about to spend some time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there it was. I was like, yo, like, I got to be prepared getting out of this, Joe. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got to make sure, things are right. You know what I mean? And I knew it wasn't going to come in time. So for the most part, I believe, like I said, I agree with you, like education. But then at the same time, a lot of old heads used to pull my coats out too. They said, young buck, like, yo, you got a bright mind on you. Like, you're not a fool. You know what I'm saying? Like my old head, Chucky Africa. Chucky Africa, the good brother from the Move 9. So he's like he poured in a lot to me too, right? So sometimes, like you said, having those good role models behind you, you know what I'm saying? Having that good, like I say, role models and good people, because you got a lot of soldiers. You got a lot of soldiers that, you know, that may not see the world again. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of soldiers that may not see the light of day, but a lot of them still had a lot of jewels to pour in. You know what I mean? So for the most part, like me, like I said, me staying focused, having faith in God, you know what I'm saying? I had to really maintain. But like I said, it came through trial and error too, because you got to remember, especially when you're doing time, when you hit a 10-year mark, like I don't care what nobody say, when you hit a 10-year mark, it does something to you. A lot of people, only people that's been through it can relate to it. Like it does something to you, nothing negative, but it does like that. Like just imagine if you had to do another 50. And I already knew Cass had already had 45 in. You know what I'm saying? So that came, like it started becoming reality. Because that could have been me. It could have been me on death row. It could have been me with a life set. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, okay, it changed me, because I had to say, nah, you got to be ready when you get out of here. Like I said, had family members pass away. Family members fall off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, what you going to rely on? Because I'm not the type of person, I'm not going to leech. I'm not going to nobody for no suits. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to, 2-for-1s. If anything, I'm going to be selling the 2-for-1s. And if people don't understand, that's some of the lingo that's used. But I'm not, so I had to understand that, like I said, that life wasn't going to be easy. You know what I'm saying? So it was going to come in time. So and that's what happened. When you stay focused, taking, like I said, educational courses, college trades and stuff like that. That stuff was really beneficial, especially for when you return to society. So, but yeah, that's pretty much.
You said you knew somebody that did 40, that had 45 in?
Yeah, Chucky did like 42. Chucky Africa.
Who? Chucky Africa?
Yeah, Chucky Africa did like 42. But I knew people that had Lonnie Brewski that was up Dallas. Lonnie had like 50 something, man. He'd been down since the, early like the 60s, 70s or something like that. Like, I mean, but it was a lot of people. A lot of people. It was a lot of people that was sharp. They was real sharp mentally. You know what I'm saying?
Chatawale. You ever met Chatawale?
Chatawale. Was he at Graterford?
He was all over. He did 37 years. He did 37 years in a box.
Oh yeah. Nah, I didn't. Yeah, I probably wouldn't know him. He was in a box 37.
I heard he just got out.
And just imagine what he's going through mentally. 37 years in the box, and in twists. Just imagine what he's going through mentally right now, man. If you wasn't even free, if you wasn't even in population for all them years, man. Just imagine what he's going through right now. But it's a mental thing out here. Out here, forget everything else. Forget money and all that. Money, all that stuff can come. If a person don't know how to get that, you in the way. I'm letting anybody know it right now. If you don't know how to get money out here, you in the way. Like, that's just real talk. So most part out here, it's a mental thing. It's a mental thing, man. This thing is serious out here, man. Like, it's a mental thing. If you don't got that wrapped up, sorry. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
So my thing is, I be feeling like a lot of people that have these understandings, somewhere along the line lose the connection with the people that don't. So my whole thing is, like, I like having these conversations and stuff like that. That's cool. But I don't always want to have them with the people that already have the understanding. It's like, preaching to the choir. You know what I'm saying? I be really wanting to create an environment where, these young kids in particular, that's really my biggest concern. You know what I mean? A lot of these people, they 30, 40, 50 years old and they ain't changed. They don't want to change.
They want to change.
What I'm saying? my main focus for real is the kids, you know what I mean, the young people that are interested in changing or need a little direction or whatever the case may be, and can benefit from experiences like ours. You know what I'm saying? To me, the only real value aside from our personal growth that our story gives is direction and insight to those who lack. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is, I hope that people who listen to this platform and speak on this platform can also bring in at least one child, at least 10 kids or whatever to listen in. You know what I'm saying? To listen in and really, let them ask some questions and, you know what I mean, get some insight. Like my nephew, like he be asking me some hard questions, man, about prison. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Because and then like I be trying to be careful because I don't want to give them the same impression that the old heads gave us about prison. You know what I mean? I don't want to tell them like, we was doing this or we was doing that. And even though it's true, even though that's how you live in your life, that's how you survive it. I don't want them to think, I don't want them to take something that I say and combine it with something that they seen in a movie or heard in a rap song and be like, oh yeah, and make it and think that it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to take that, you know what I mean? I don't want them to take that away from that. But like, just to sum that up, like I just feel like, the real value is in getting this information and these insights to these kids, man, before they make a bad decision, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you got a good point, man. Like you said, reaching them, trying to, create platforms for them, outlets. Because, man, I'm telling you, man, because when I look back on it, when we was younger, we didn't care either. But we didn't have that guidance. Nobody was pouring into us. You know what I'm saying? So we like empty vessels. We was like empty vessels. Like we had a lot of potential. Like look at a lot of things we accomplished, even just accomplished inside. You know what I'm saying? Just to come out and accomplish things. It's like that. Just imagine if somebody would have poured into us way back then. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it starts at the household. Whoever raising these kids up, and I understand sometimes, a lot of times, there's a lot of single parent home. I understand that. It's totally respectful. But if you have the opportunity to invest in your child, if your child is showing interest in something, you got to push them some type of way. You got to look for something for them to do. Don't go out to the bar. Don't go to Atlantic City and spend money on all the stupid stuff. No, invest in something in your child. Put them in the basketball league. Put them in the music class. Push them to do something. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of they just let them, if they not bothering me, they're out on the street, go ahead. You don't know what they do.
Now let me say this about that. I agree with you. The first thing I'm going to say is that our lives as children, as kids, are more influenced by our environment and our friends. Like we're more with our friends than we are with our parents. You know what I'm saying? Wow, we go home to sleep, but we go out and play all day. You dig what I'm saying? We go to school and we with our friends. You dig what I'm saying? Everywhere we go, we with our friends. That's what, our community. You know what I'm saying? Our community is influencing us too. You know what I'm saying? It's a major impact. That peer pressure real. You know what I'm saying? I used to think that peer pressure was a thing for kids. We see peer pressure. We see adults succumbing to peer pressure every day. We see celebrities do it. Adults are doing it. You dig what I'm saying? On a daily basis. I sit here and watch it every day. You know what I'm saying? A person will get with a group of people and talk behind this person's back, and this person won't say nothing because the rest of the group is going with, you know what I'm saying? Like we talking about grown people. You think I'm saying? So for a kid who's impressionable and still trying to find themselves, still trying to find their identity, being pressured by their peers is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? So we're not really raising them. We ain't raising them to be leaders. We're not raising them to think, think freely and think for themselves. Like, you know what I mean? Them, they could easily make a bad decision.
That's true. Okay, we got something up there. We got any it said, y'all see, these young ones need people like you, success stories, wisdom. Some young ones think that once you're in, it's too late. It's never too late. Absolutely, baby. Absolutely. It's never too late. It's never too late to change. Never too late to change. Like even when you're older, like it's never too late. But see where it becomes a battle, right? Because they say the brain doesn't fully develop, right, until the age of 25, right? So if that's the case, most people past that 25 point, they set in their ways. You know what I'm saying? How you was raised, whatever you learned, that's what you're going to carry on for the rest of your life. That's what science, science is saying. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that with practice with anything, with practice can help you change. It can help you get better at whatever you want to do. That's just like me. I didn't play music. I didn't play piano all my life. I started playing piano when I was about 24, 25. I mean, excuse me, about 23, yeah, 23. You know what I'm saying? But then people say, oh, you was playing since you was a kid. No, I haven't. I didn't play lesson. No, I learned that during incarceration. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, I was able to learn these things, but and I was already older. Like I grew older. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that I was finished learning. No, knowing it's like a life's journey. Like you got to constantly know things, man. You know what I mean? So and it's crazy because like you said, a lot of youth, man, with this peer pressure, they grind people out. Even when it comes to social media, man. Like people tell them themselves about a like on a post. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let alone unfriend somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like people taking that, oh, I'm gonna like this post because this person ain't like. If he ain't like, I ain't gonna like it either. Or they go with it kind of like a narcissistic. If this person lead it on it, I'm looking like, like it's a bunch of kids out this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something else that be throwing me off about that. Like,
yeah,
you spoke earlier about lawyers, judges, and all that being in prison and stuff like that. Like, we at the age of 15, you know what I'm saying? We was in there with the wolves. You know what I'm saying? We was in there with the wolves. You a big guy. You what, 6'5", 6'6"? You know what I'm saying? I was a little guy. You know what I'm saying? So people gonna look at you different anyway. Like, I don't know. I want to try help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Regardless, though, that everybody's subject to being pressured. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter people are influential. But I just say that to say, like, we had to thrive and survive in an environment where you had big personalities. You think I'm saying? You had real big personalities, real so-called influencers. People that press buttons and things move. You think I'm saying? So when it comes to, like, self-identity and, understanding yourself and, knowing what you for and knowing what you're against, staying true to your beliefs and things like that, we've been practicing that so long that it's easy, when we get out here, like, nah, that ain't for me, whatever the case may be. You think I'm saying?
True. Stay in the lane.
But it's like you said, like, these kids, they don't have that same foundation. And they constantly being exposed, like you said, like, like this, unlike this, unfriend this, you know what I'm saying? All that, like, psychologically breeding them for, just, not being an independent thinker, basically.
Absolutely. Not an independent thinker. A lot of people, they can't think for themselves. They never was taught to think. They was taught, okay, well, monkey see, monkey do. Well, this person may be a cool kid.
People taught what to think, not how to think.
Not how to think. Wow, that's powerful. That could be a message.
People are taught what to think, but not how to think.
Not how to think.
You know what I'm saying? That's the issue.
Yeah. Now, and the crazy thing is, the adults are the same way. The adults the same way. Like, not far in between. Like, they're, adults they mess me up out here. Like, you be looking like, yo, are you a kid? Are you a juvenile? What's up? Like, what you, and then they get mad when you like, nah, like, I gotta keep it moving. I gotta keep it moving. I can't deal with you because you what you doing? You know what I mean?
like on that note, like what you just said, right? Like I really got to a point where I was feeling like anytime somebody try to get me involved in something that I know is a bad path, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you asking me to choose whatever you want over my life.
Over your life.
That's basically what you're doing. That's basically the exchange. And that's what I mean by how to think. Like people got to learn decision making. People got to be able to learn how to weigh them options. Like, yeah, all right, you think that, you know, this dude, he sell drugs and he got some jewelry, probably, you know, ice, whatever, and da-da-da-da. All right, yeah. But now look at the other side. You dig what I'm saying? Look at the other side of it. Look at what he exposed himself to in terms of, you know, constantly being under police scrutiny, going to prison, you know, paying for lawyers, paying for bail, doing time, whatever the case may be, not being able to see your kids, not being able to raise your kids. What about all of the disadvantages of being in the so-called drug game? You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to weigh that stuff and look at it and be like, you know, because the only thing they told us was, yo, here go a pack. This is how you can make some money.
Yeah. It's crazy because
if the cops come, run.
You got a buy. You know, it's crazy because, like you said, it's a saying that says these cats be willing to die for their homies rather than live for their kids. You know what I'm saying? Like that's backwards. You'd rather go chill out on the street corner, cold as bricks out there with your hands in your pants, just chilling. And you ain't even selling no work. You're just out there. Versus spending time with your kid in the household. What sense does that make? You know what I'm saying? Some people, you know, their priorities be like, how can you know, it can be rational a lot, like, but it's just, I guess it's just like, I don't want to say it's a hereditary thing, but sometimes, like you say, things it's taught. They teach you how to think and not how to think.
You know, like, you remember that movie, the Steve Harvey joint, Act Like a Man, Act Like a Lady.
Okay,
Think like a man, act like a lady. You remember the scene, like towards the end of the movie when where all the guys was in the group. I guess they was at like a bar or something.
Okay.
And they was at like a bar or something, and they was sitting there talking like, yeah, he's like, the one dude, the white dude, I forget his name. He a real funny dude, comedian. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, yeah, look, man, I gotta go, man. My wife waiting on me and all that. And they sit there, tried to peer pressure him. Like, oh, yeah, man, she got you, man. And he was like, look, man, I don't know what y'all talking about. My wife waiting for me. I need to be there. That's where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But what I just say that to point out, like, how adults be trying to peer pressure their friends. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And in the scenario you said, the kids, they hanging on the corners, because they friends are saying, damn, man, you ain't outside. We outside. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They pressuring them to be, you know, though, the other day, man, I seen these kids from my neighborhood. They was young. They probably was like 14, 15, 16 online. I'm talking about talking crazy, right? Incidents and, you know, whoa, and, you know, they calling different people on live, like, yeah, you lying, and we chased you, and, you know, and I'm like, I try to get in on the chat, like get in on the live, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't know who I was. So I'm just sitting there like, yo, man, like, do y'all understand the consequences of your behavior? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you really understand the consequences of your behavior? Now, if you got people in your circle and you got people in your life that's telling you, like you said, we didn't have people telling us that. Only thing they was telling us was, yo, look, this is how you go do this and this is how you go do that. They wasn't telling us the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So if you got people in your life that's actually trying to give you something good and take you in the right direction, and you still choose to go in the wrong direction, when it's all said and done, you can look back and be like, you know what? He did tell me that I could work at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? He did tell me, yeah, come on, you know, come mow this grass with me. You can make some money this way. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Shout out to Breaking the Chains and Kevin Dolphin. They doing great work. know what I'm saying? Great work for the kids in the community down in Harrisburg. They understand that, you know, the kids is the focus.
The focus, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, brother Kevin Dolphin. Yeah, but tell them about your movement too, Supreme Network. For a minute.
Yeah.
Or if you want to fill them in later, it's up to you.
Yeah,
like, let them know your friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
1 second. Go ahead. Keep going. I'm gonna go. Let me grab something real quick.
So, you know, Supreme Network, you know, we online, Facebook, you know, Twitter, Instagram, and, you know, we got a website, supremenetwork.org. It's all about, you know, building, connecting, networking, and just becoming better, man. Approaching life with the right mindset, being able to, you know, being willing to challenge, you know, these lies that we've been told, you know, these things that we've been telling ourselves. You know what I mean? We got to clean it up from the inside in order for us to, you know, fix things in the outer world. But, you know, from a business standpoint, we, you know, promoting other businesses, local businesses throughout the country and throughout the world, and just trying to, you know, do away with that whole, you know, hateful, unproductive, you know, approach to things. You know what I mean? If you see somebody doing something good, man, give them a shout out, man. Big them up. It ain't, you know, it ain't that real. It's enough shine, enough sunshine, enough money. It's enough for everybody, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the way we pushing that.
Yeah. So, and like I said, hold on, let me put this up. Yeah, you're right. Like you said, and that's a thing too. People never want to congratulate, build somebody up, ask somebody, hey, how can I help you? How can I support you? You know what I'm saying? How can I, you know, do things, you know, to make things better for you? Instead, people want to tear each other down. You know what I'm saying? When they see you try to do something good, when they see you sharing posts, you know, about youth, you know, trying to help them out, see how they're doing, et cetera, et cetera. Instead of them, you know, liking it or trying to share it or at least saying something positive, they scroll right past you. You know what I'm saying? Or if you reach out to people and say, wow, bro, you got some nice work there. They just turn around and probably ignore you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, thinking, you know, but then I noticed that out in this world, it's a real cold world. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that they think everybody has cold hearts. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's not like that. But it's a small percentage that aren't like that. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else out here, you know, they be out here for themselves. They try to get themselves up. They don't want nothing, you know, to you know, they don't want nothing to prosper for nobody else. It's all about me. That's not cool. This world is not, you know, it's you know, it's you know, we're supposed to show love. We're supposed to, you know, embrace, you know, the next, you know, build them up. But people are just, you know, they're just selfish, man. They're just really selfish, man. And you know, it's crazy because where I see a lot of like it's love, but it's like embracement, right? People pick each other up and build each other up. Here in Philadelphia, right? Kensington, Somerset, Emerald, and Lehigh. And this is like some of the bottom of the bottom. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like it was the bottom where people live, but it's like the bottom of the bottom where there's a lot of drug activity, et cetera, like zombies walking down there. But a lot of times, because I go down there in disguise, like people you won't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like you won't even know. But what happens is, so if we feeding people, right? If we're feeding people down there, and I don't boast about this because I don't talk about people I help and stuff like that. But when you're feeding people down there, people are building each other up. Some people may run out of some food or something. I'll see other people be like, "Oh, here, take half of my sandwich," because they never know when their next meal is coming. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, "Oh, I gotta get this. I'm going to eat." Versus people that probably already have a little something, you know, that's living a normal life, they'd rather just take and be greedy. But I've seen some of the humblest people out there on the streets, like literally trying to help each other, like, here, take some of my coffee. You know, here, you can have half, or I can share. Rather than not, they know that person is going to give them some of their hit, or whatever the case may be. But you've seen a lot of them, I'm like, Dad, we ran out of coffee, but this person's still offering, here, You can take it. You got an extra cup here. Take half of mine. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about cold as nails out there, but they looking to help the next because they know that they also needed help at one time. You know what I'm saying? So
I think it's that struggle. I think it's that struggle that helps you understand the struggle. You know what I'm saying? It's not having nothing. Like it's just like people that so-called come up privileged. You know what I'm saying? They come up privileged and they never seen the other side of life. So it's like it's hard for them to relate. It's hard for them to understand. But then you got some that's just, you know, they fit that way. You know what I'm saying? They, mentally fit that way to, still inquire and ask and try to understand. But then you got some that just feel like, look, that ain't got nothing to do with me. But it's like you said, like when you down at the bottom like that and you understand, how bad it can get for you, then it's easier to understand others and extend your hand to them. You know what I'm saying? I had did a post about just how people just walk past poor people, man. People that be on the corner, like people like I'm telling you, man, that be blowing my mind for real. Especially when these same individuals will brag about how much money they got, will have thousands of dollars in their pocket. Give a homeless person $1.
It's sad. You
know what I mean? And I'll be like, you're not my type of person, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care how cool the world thinks you are or how cool your neighborhood thinks you are. If you can't give a homeless person on the corner $1 out of your pocket, you're not my type of person.
You're not the type. I'm telling you. It's crazy you say that, right? Because I've always been taught to give and right. So this is a crazy thing. So upon my first day of release, right? So I had a check. The check was like, I think the check was like $200, right? So I'm like, I gotta cash this joint, right? So I think I got down to Pittsburgh because I was all the way up Albion. So that's all the way up Lake Erie. So you had to catch the bus all the way to you had to catch the Greyhound all the way to Pittsburgh. So I went out and cashed the check, right? I got to the cash checking place. I could tell everybody there I was looking suspicious because it's been a minute, so I'm out and I'm forgetting how big I am. So automatically people are like that, this boy 6'7", you know what I'm saying? Then I had on a button-up shirt, buttoned up to the T, so they thinking I'm guap falling like I'm in a gang or something, right? So long story short, I cashed the check. So as soon as I come out, it was somebody sitting right on the side. It was like, hey, he had a jar. Bang, I broke him off. Because I knew that I was going to be all right. When I see him somebody in need, no matter how long he been sitting there, no matter how much he had in his jar.
See, but that's where you get your blessings from. That's where you get your blessings. Like your blessings, like first of all, your mindset is going to open doors for you. Your mindset alone is going to open doors for you. Just you understanding that great things are coming for you and great things are coming to you makes it easy to give. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's just that process, man. Like they say, what you put out in the world come back. What goes around comes around. All them old sayings that the old folks used to say to us, got real meaning. You know what I'm saying? They got real meaning to them, man. What you put out come back. What goes around comes around. It's universal truths, man.
I believe it. What you sow in this world, whatever you sow, whatever you dish out, whatever you plant, that's what you're gonna get back. You're gonna get that back. Like I'm telling you, so that's why you gotta be. People have to be careful how they treat people. Watch how you treat people, man, because you never know. Like I done seen some people literally, you treat people a certain way to turn around. Now you need them. You really need them. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I try. I don't disrespect people. I try to respect people. If somebody get out of line, I'll let them look. I didn't disrespect you. Please don't disrespect me. You know what I'm saying? So and because I know how it is. I'm like, nah, we're not gonna do that. I don't got time to be beefing. I ain't got time to be arguing and all that stuff. Nah, I'm focused. I'm trying to, I'm looking forward to, getting married, having kids, etc. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to focus on life. I don't know.
Let me ask you. When you never mind. We can talk about that another time though.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But Go ahead, y'all. Y'all can keep asking questions. You know, we just dialoguing. Like I said, we're gonna have these type of conversations with more people in the chat on Thursday nights. Remember, Thursday nights we're gonna be starting it off from 7 to like 9. We're just gonna be kicking. We're gonna be rolling. We're gonna be talking about. So have y'all questions ready. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to ask these things. We're gonna have like certain topics up there. I mean, we're capable of probably drifting off or different topics, but have them questions ready because it's gonna be real dynamic. It's gonna be powerful.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna have the women up here. We're gonna have the Latina women.
We're gonna have the women. Oh yeah,
like we're gonna like you know what I'm saying? Chico, shout out to Chico.
Hey, yes, okay, Latino. I love my Latino women. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. I'm human. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? See, we're gonna be joking. We're gonna have sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? But sure, you know how it go. But that's what we do, man. That's what we gonna have fun. That's just what we gotta do. We gotta have dialogue. See, some people are always so serious. Oh, what we were talking about? No, that's what we dialogue. We build. You know what I'm saying? People want to know people, and what the main joint gonna be, especially a lot of the women. And this real talk. This for all the women, y'all listen. The main joint's gonna be, Dad, why you not married yet? Why you why you don't got this? Why you what you this? What you gay with? No, hell no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's their mindset. See what they don't realize is we've been away for so long. It doesn't bother us to just chill. It doesn't bother us to just. It could go a year, could go by. A year is nothing. A year is like, you know what I'm saying? We still turning around in circles, just looking around. A year is nothing.
Hey,
you know what?
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Listen, right?
Yeah.
And like our situations is different. Like we're not the average person getting out of prison. You know what I'm saying? Our situations is different. Our minds are different. Our situations are different. You dig what I'm saying? We don't need a woman to give us a place to stay. I don't need your money. You know what I'm saying? Like my situation is different. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is like when we meet and I'm enjoying you. I'm enjoying your beauty. I'm enjoying your time. I like talking to you. I like going out, all that different stuff. We ain't got to jump into nothing serious. You know what I'm saying?
But see, this is the thing. That's what attracts. That's what attracts a lot of women. Yeah. Because it's not a lot of cats like that. Mm-hmm. It's not a lot of cats that can hold their own, that can bills paid, bank account right, stocks in motion, and you can just lay back like, "What's up?" And they watch it because it ain't gonna be people that's carrying themselves like that, or they got bills that they can pull up in this, they pull up in that. Like who they? Like you chilling what? They like that because a lot of cats they be in the way like, yo, let me hold the car. Let you hold the car. You gotta go work and buy a damn car. You ain't touching my car. I don't let people don't get in my car. It's very seldom do I let somebody drive. Like if I'm driving, I'm going. Nine times I'm I'm solo. Like I don't deal with people. You're not getting in my car. And it's not that I'm selfish like that. Nah, because I'm always moving. I'm always doing things, and nobody's gonna hold me down to say, "Oh, yo, take me over here." Man, you must be crazy. You better go get it. Go buy a hoopty or something. You know what I'm saying? Go buy a little cheap car. I'm not driving you around and you know what I'm saying? Like you must be crazy. Nah.
And they be people that's technically 15 years ahead of you.
Been out here all the time.
15 years ahead of you. And,
Yeah, man.
Hey, another thing
that's
too,
what I'm saying,
right? Another thing too, right? When you be like connecting with these women and you just tell them like I just like talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Like pull up, we gonna talk. You know what I'm saying? Because for real, my thing is like, when you be in prison, you be like, oh yeah, when I get out, man, I can't wait. And you get out here and you be like, oh nah, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's an energy thing. There's an energy thing. You know what I'm saying? And to be straight up with you, like, all them years, strip searches, having a celly, all that, it make you real like personal about your body.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Real personal about your space.
People understand
that. And I ain't just laying down with any woman. You can't just, you know what I'm saying? Like like it's personal. It's real personal for me. You know,
it's
what I'm
like
saying?
everybody not gonna know where you live at. Like you're not gonna invite people over your drink. Like, nah, like you're not. You're right. You get real personal. You get real. This is my stuff. This is my property. Like no, you don't. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't. Yeah, like you said, that getting personal thing that's serious because a lot of people when they see you not necessarily isolated, but you got your own zone. Mm-hmm. When you got your blinders on, like yo, I'm not allowing this to distract me. I'm not allowing that to distract me. People looking like, yo, this boy acting crazy. No, we got our way. You got a certain way about you. You know what I'm saying? But people sometimes don't understand it. But that's why we're here to explain a lot of these things. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the book. Actually, the book that I'm about to get published, we're talking about, it's part of like the incarcerated mind of the juvenile. I'm talking about from when you first get arrested, from the peer pressures, et cetera, during incarceration. Like everything that goes through your mind, because I've seen a lot of people, like in prison, some of them lost their minds, some of them hung it up, some of them fell victim to homosexuality, some of them, like I said again, lost their mind. It was a lot of things. A lot of them mad it up. Some people hung it up. Mm-hmm. I done seen people lose their lives. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's deep, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, it's a different thing, man. These are the type of things we got to talk about. Like I said, youth got to hear these things. Mm-hmm. This is what's going to happen. This is what you got to expect. Expect when you get locked up, when they stack them charges on you. You know what I'm saying? Even if they drop some of the charges, you still got to go there in the courthouse to get that stuff off your record. You know what I'm saying? They didn't tell you that. They didn't tell you, that, the statute of limitations. You know what I'm saying? They didn't tell you how much time you had to file, your appeal. Instead, because that's another thing. The average person out here, probably everybody, I ain't gonna say everybody, but it's a huge, probably 95% of people watching right now are ignorant towards the law. Mm-hmm. You get locked up.
People think that the law is something else over there. When the law is behind everything.
Everything.
The law is behind everything. Even if it ain't criminal law, it's contract law. You know what I'm saying? Whether you talk about your license, your landlord, you think I'm saying? The curb outside your house, everything has to do with law.
The computer screen, this live we doing, everything is behind the law. Mm-hmm. It's going to be some fine print somewhere about it. But people don't understand that. So when they do get arrested, now here it is. Okay, they provide the law library because it's you're supposed to. It's a right. It's a right to exercise that. It's a right to exercise that, the law. But here it is. Everybody's ignorant towards it. So now your life is at the mercies of either your public defender or if you can afford a private counsel. So here it is. Now you're just putting your life in somebody else's hands because you don't know the law. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, it is some wise people that did pick up that book. Let me see what this habeas corpus is about. Let me see what following this motion is about. You know what I'm saying?
Now, listen, you just said something important. Habeas corpus, which is Latin. You dig what I'm saying? Wow. That's Latin. So soon when you come in the courtroom, they talking a totally different language. They talking a language you don't even know, and you just sitting there like, man, what is going on right now? You know what I'm saying?
But no doubt, man. So yeah, we about to get ready to wrap this thing up, man. We've been on here for an hour, but see, just the dialogue like that, it went by just that fast. You know what I'm saying? So these are the type of things. Again, everybody is listening. This thing is going down Thursday nights. We're going to be having these dialogues. It's going to be, other people. We're going to be posting a flyer again. It's going to be different cultures, different people, different backgrounds. You can also inbox us. Let us know if you want to be on the show one day to share some of your story. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get different cultures. Like I said, whether it be black, white, Latino, Asian, you know, we're going all around African. We're trying to bring a connection together, you know, so we can elaborate on these things. You know, there's some things the most we never know. We may create our own laws, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Some laws gonna be passed, but we're trying to get this dialogue going, getting the word out to some of these youth. Allow us to start speaking because we're both motivational speakers. We're both, you know, public figures. We do different things, you know, for people and in neighborhood communities, et cetera, et cetera. So this is what we're doing. So y'all like and share this video. You know what I'm saying? Let them know that it's coming. You know, it's 15, the big things. You know, we're gonna be thinking some big thoughts. You know, we're gonna be we're gonna be addressing and covering a lot of different things. So again, my name is Keenan Hudson. You know me, I believe in the youth. And my brother here, he gonna close us out because you know it's an hour, so we wrapping up. We want to give y'all time to, you know, check the video out, you know, share this thing. So go ahead, you want to end it out? Thank you so much, Mr. We appreciate it.
Yeah, Supreme Network page. We going live. This is my personal page, but we going live from the Supreme Network page every Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Join in. There's Dr. Browns. That's Dr. Browns right there, man. She's amazing, man. Super duper smart. And she asked about you. She said you're amazing too.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Joy. We definitely look forward to like hearing a lot of the questions, and we're gonna be growing. We're going to be like really even. She can even come on the show. You know, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait. We're gonna really start like expanding on a lot of big things. I see this moving all around the world, not just in the city. Yeah. This thing is global. It's gonna be like you said, Supreme. It's gonna be a global networking. You know, going on. So
absolutely, it's the beginning of something great, man. Everybody tap in. Let everybody know. Share. Be ready. Yeah. Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. We're going to have the rest of the guests on there. Stay tuned for the flyer. We're going to repost the flyer so you know who they are. You can learn about them. We here.
Indeed, we here. All right,
Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
All right, good night. Peace.